A few weeks ago, I was running our Prime Elite event, which is an AI conference for over 63 CEOs who flew in to learn how to grow their business with AI. While my business partner Gus was on stage, I went ahead and pulled out my laptop in the back of the room and I typed a single prompt into an AI agent, and 9 minutes later, I had 137 contacts pulled from my inbox, all ranked for fit with the highest quality leads in my inbox, totaling $168,000 in pipeline. 9 minutes, that was it, while I was sitting in the back of my own event. And here's what got me. Most of those leads were people that I'd already talked to, right? People that expressed some interest or had asked for a proposal, someone who came to an event that I hosted, and I just stopped following up. Why? Because like you, I got busy, I moved on to the next thing, and I just completely forgot about them. And that's the thing, is the money was already there. I already had earned the right to re-engage with them. I just forgot. And that is a follow-up problem. And right now, it's probably the most expensive problem in your business that you are not measuring. And today, I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I ran step by step. The framework that I use, I call it the inbox cash scan. There's 4 steps and there's just one prompt. And by the time this video is done, you're gonna be able to run this yourself in under 10 minutes and pull a real dollar figure from your own inbox. I'm gonna show you why you do not need a single new lead to find money in your business and what the AI needs to know before it can scan any of this for you. And then I will walk you through the exact prompt, what the output actually looks like, and what happened when I followed up on the leads that it flagged. So most business owners think they have a lead problem. So they run more ads, you maybe post more content, you do more cold outreach, and you keep spending money at the top of your funnel trying to buy attention from strangers, while the leads that you already earned are sitting inside your inbox going cold. So think about how this is actually playing out, okay? You get a first contact with a prospect and you have a good conversation over DM or over email, maybe a phone call or a demo, or maybe even a sales call, and things are moving. And then out of nowhere, like most sales processes, things just go cold. And they either go cold on you or you go cold on them. So, you get busy, you get pulled into a client escalation, a team issue, a new launch, and that prospect literally just falls off your radar. So right in that gap between good conversation and that silence is where all your money lives. Those people raised their hand, they replied to your email, they registered for your webinar, they asked about pricing, they said, hey, let's connect soon. And you did the hard work, you earned their interest, and then you got busy and the follow-up never happened. And this is actually not a one-time thing because it's happening over and over and over again across months and years of conversations. And so you end up with this graveyard of warm contacts sitting inside your inbox that you've completely forgotten about. And people who already trust you and already know what you do and were genuinely interested want to get in touch with you. And you're out here running ads to find strangers instead of going back to the people who already wanted to talk to you. Now here's why this keeps happening and why most people never fix it. The reason why is because your CRM was actually supposed to solve this, but most business owners that I work with, myself included, we're just not disciplined CRM users. And I get it because most CRMs are slow, they're clunky, they feel like busy work, and they just suck. So what happens is your real pipeline ends up living in your inbox, because the inbox is where the actual conversations have happened, right? The CRM is where you go document things after the fact, even if you remember to. And nobody's actually going back through thousands of email conversations trying to figure out who stalled and who still needs a follow-up. And that is painful enough that literally nobody does it and no one does it consistently, which is exactly why the money stays stuck there. Now, I've worked with over 397 different business owners, helping them install AI agents to scale their profits, and I've not run this process without a single one of them who did not find at least $100,000 in new pipeline sitting in some inbox, some client pipeline somewhere. And that's not like some wild ass guess. That's what I've literally seen over and over and over again. So here's the thing. You didn't fail at sales, you succeeded at starting conversations, then you failed at continuing them. And that's actually good news because it means that the hardest part is already done. The trust is already built and the interest is already there. You just need a way to go find those conversations and pick them back up. And this is exactly what the inbox cash scan is built for. So here's what made me see this differently. Your inbox is like a database of intent. It's not just email, it's a record of every person who even cared to reach out to you in the first place, to respond with you or engage with you. And every message, it's like a signal. Signals can be scored, they can be ranked, and of course they can be acted on. But the old way of dealing with this was you did everything manually. Okay, you carve out an afternoon, you open your inbox, you scroll through hundreds or thousands of messages, trying to remember like what conversation from 6 months ago and what this was even about. And then you write some follow-up that sounds halfway personal, but mostly just garbage. You send it, and then you forget to do the whole thing again for another 6 months. And that process is painful enough that almost nobody does it consistently. And that's what got me thinking, what if an AI agent could do the scanning, the scoring, the ranking in minutes instead of hours? Because that's what these tools can actually do. The AI agent reads the full thread and it surfaces the contacts who express interests, the ones who asked about pricing, the ones who attended your event, requested a proposal, etc. And it scores each one on fit so that you're not wasting your time chasing the wrong re-engagement campaign while a high score lead sits at the bottom of your list. Because that's what these tools can actually do now. The AI agent reads the full thread, it surfaces the contact who expressed interest, right? So the one who asked about pricing, the one who attended an event, the one who requested for a proposal, and it scores each one on fit so that you're not wasting your time chasing the wrong people while a high score lead sits at the bottom of your contact list. But here's where most people mess this up. They skip straight to the prompt and they wonder why the outcome comes back generic. The inbox cache scan only works as well as the definition that you feed it. In this case, sequence equals success. You have to tell the AI agent exactly who a good lead is for your business before it can score them. So before you run anything, you need to get clear on 3 things. First, who is your ideal buyer? And I mean specific. Title, company, size, the problem they're trying to solve. Business owners, it's just not useful to AI, for example. It needs something that can actually score against. Something like founders running B2B service-based businesses that are doing between 500K and 5 million in revenue who want to grow without adding headcount. That's ours, for example. But here, the more specific that you are, the sharper that your results are going to be. Second, what are the signals of interest that you're actually looking for? Someone who asked about your services, attended a webinar, requested a proposal, or registered for an event, and then never showed up. You need to actually define those signals so that the AI knows what actually counts as interest versus just noise when it comes to the conversations that are happening inside of your inbox. Third is, what's your average deal value? You need to know this number so that the pipeline estimate that the agent gives you actually means something to you, because without it, you just get a list of names with no way to prioritize them. But once you have those 3 things clear, you are ready to run the sweep. This is the part where 10 minutes of work can change your entire quarter. 1 tool, 1 prompt, and you walk away with a ranked list of your highest value forgotten leads with draft follow-up messages ready to send. The tool that we use for this, it's called Perplexity Computer. And before you run the prompt, you need to set 2 things up inside of it. First, you're going to install the Prime Ideal Buyer skill. Now you're going to see this right inside of Perplexity Computer. And what this does is it lets you answer 2 simple questions, and then it defines your ideal buyer for you and does deep research on who they are and what their buying signals look like. It's also going to ask you for your average deal size so that it can calculate your total pipeline. So again, even the definition step for defining your ideal buyer from a minute ago, the AI is going to handle most of that for you. Second, you're going to connect your email. Now click on connectors inside of Perplexity Computer and you're going to connect your Gmail or your Outlook directly. Now this is what allows the agent to actually go inside your inbox, scan it, and eventually send emails on your behalf. And that whole connection process takes about 30 seconds. And once you have those 2 things set up, now you're going to run the prompt. And this is the whole thing. It's right here on the screen, and you can also check it out in the description. And that's it. You just paste that in with your details and you hit enter and the AI goes to work. It's gonna connect your inbox. It's gonna run multiple agents concurrently. So like batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, all at the same time. And it has access to 19 different models. And when I ran mine, it just happened to choose Claude Sonnet 4.6 on its own, and it just started scanning. And what comes back is a table. You're gonna see contact name, company, last interaction date, fit score, and a pipeline estimate with the highest scores right there at the top. And when I ran this at the event, the top ranked content had a fit score of 9 out of 10 and an estimated value of $35,000. And here's the thing is that person had emailed me 3 months earlier asking about our program. I replied once and then the whole thread went dead for 3 months. That contact was literally just sitting there in my inbox. Now, this next part is important because this is where I see a lot of business owners screw it up once they have their list. Do not send a template blast or drop those names into a bulk email sequence where everybody gets the same message, because that's the fastest way to burn the goodwill that you just spent months building, okay? We're no longer in the chatbot era of AI. We are in the AI agent era, and the difference here matters a ton because in the chatbot era, you'd run like a prompt, you'd copy paste a bunch of information out, and then you'd go do the work yourself. But in the AI agent era, the AI does the work for you. It reads the context, it remembers the conversation, and it does that for every single lead on your list. So what you have to do is just go back inside that same task inside a Perplexity computer and just tell it something like, craft a personalized draft message for my top prospects from this analysis. Do not send, draft only. And what it does is it goes out and it finds the context from each conversation. It starts drafting emails on your behalf. So if you go into your email drafts after it runs, you're gonna see personalized messages sitting there that you did not have to write. And each one picks up the conversation right where it left off. And it sounds like you actually remember that person specifically. Why? Because the AI agent read the thread and it did remember. So instead of sending something generic that feels like AI slop, you're gonna be sending something that says like, hey, Austin, I just got back from Australia and I was thinking about the lead problem you shared with me when we last spoke. Are you still looking for help using AI to get more leads and sales? If so, I've got something that can help. Let me know and I'll send you the details. That's a real message based on a real conversation. And this is the difference between AI that kills relationships and sounds like slop and robots and clanking, and AI that actually restarts conversations for you. And this isn't just some theory I cooked up. We have a member in Prime Elite, her name's Christa. She took the same principle and she applied it to her entire pipeline. Okay, she uses personalized AI voice agents to contact every single lead who comes into her world. And her show up rate went from 20% to 36% just from using an AI agent to make it personal. Because when people feel like you're talking to them specifically, instead of blasting them with the same message that you sent to 500 other people, they actually show up for you. So the good news is you did not have to spend half a day manually following up on leads anymore ever again in your life, because AI can now do it in minutes and send it right out of your Gmail or your Outlook inbox. So let me take you back to my event. So my business partner, Gus, was on stage teaching, and honestly, I was like half listening to him and half watching Perplexity scan my inbox in real time. And by the time Gus was done with his session, I had a ranked list of 22 prospects sitting on my screen. And from there, I had the AI agent draft those personalized follow-ups based on the context from each conversation. And you can literally just tell it, go ahead and send these for me, and it will do that right out of your Gmail or Outlook inbox. Okay, so I already had Perplexity Computer handle all of this stuff for all of these leads, so the follow-ups were done. And this happened while I was running our event, okay? This simple tool was working my pipeline for me. My leads were already there, and so was the trust. So the agent found those leads, scored them, ranked them, got back to them in just a few minutes while I was doing something else entirely. And let me show you what the results look like. In 9 minutes, we found 137 contacts, 22 fit our ideal prospect profile, and 14 of them were high fit prospects that equaled $168,000 in estimated pipeline. Now, let me give you some context on those numbers, okay? The 168,000, like obviously that's an estimate. The AI goes out and it scores on intent signals and your average deal size. And obviously some of those deals are gonna close and some may not. But ask yourself this, if you followed up on 14 people who already expressed interest in working with you, how many do you actually need to close to make it worth 10 minutes of your time? For me, one deal from that list made the entire 10 minutes worth it 100 times over. Okay, we ended up closing one prospect out of that pipeline that turned into a $60,000 deal. Done, closed, customer signed. Work is being done right now as I'm making this video. Then we closed another client, a $5,000 a month deal. So that's another $60,000. So we closed over $120,000 from two people who were sitting in my inbox, not being followed up with. And I taught this same process in a workshop last week, and Robert out of Seattle ran it live with us, and his reaction was this. He said, I'm gonna have to hire more people to keep up with all the new leads and sales that I'm finding. And that is what keeps happening every time we show this to people. Every business owner who runs this finds money that they did not know was already sitting inside their inbox. So maybe $120,000 is a big number for you. Maybe it's a small number. The number's not the point. The point is that the search takes 10 minutes and the upside is completely lopsided for you. You spend 10 minutes and you walk away knowing exactly which warm leads deserve your attention first, with personalized messages drafted and sent. That ROI beats almost anything else that you could be doing with 10 minutes of your time in your business. And if you want, you can ask the agent to run this process every week for you on autopilot. Set it and the scan just keeps going and going. 4 simple steps, 1 tool, and you can reactivate your pipeline and generate new sales opportunities in literally minutes. So listen, confidence comes from evidence. If you build this process with AI instead of studying it from afar, you're gonna get more confident in what you're doing. You're gonna make more money without hiring more people, and you do not need to guess whether there is money in your inbox. You just run the AI agent and you find out, because the evidence is sitting right there in reply threads and in your sent folder. So I put the exact prompt that I used, the scoring criteria I gave the AI, and the re-engagement message structured into one free download. Everything I just walked you through, the step-by-step, blow-by-blow, paint-by-numbers version, including all the prompts we use inside a Perplexity computer to do this for your business. If you want access to that, go to dmjoe.com and send me the word lead finder, and I'll send it right over to you. You can literally run this today and you'll have your number in minutes. And of course, if you got value from this video, make sure you subscribe. We drop new content every week, and I'll see you on the next video.